guess what? Immediately gives a shout out to the mayor. Who gives a shout out to the mayor because he knows that bro's just gonna get right back out on the streets, ladies and gentlemen. That Ahmed Abdullah is not long. Now, the violent stabbing that just happened in Times Square under Zoran Mamdani's communist fucking hellhole.
Axel chat YouTube switching to working these Cs.
How did that happen? That's insane. Chaotic disturbing Times area, New York's Times Square area, where one person was stabbed multiple times, leaving a large amount of blood at the scene. That's not good at all, actually. Wow, it's really good that the NYPD was there or something. Just understand that this is what's happening everywhere in America, by the way. All right, just get ready for it. This is District 3 runoff election in Texas. All right, where we have 32% of the votes going to Tamam Alwan, 32% of the votes going to Kejal Patel, and 35% of the votes going to Abdul Khabir. All right, so it's a pretty close election between these three patriots in Texas right now. So just understand. Look at the United Kingdom. All right, that's a microcosm of what's happening everywhere. All right, just get it. All right, so Cowley Van Hare said she's in our country illegally, and she was just sworn in as the mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota. Isn't that nice?
Because his mother had died. My father, as the one processing the paperwork, put my grandmother down as his mother. And so I am illegal in this country. My parents are illegal here.
How the fuck could you be proud of being illegal in the country? Like, we need her deported immediately. Why are we playing this game?
This country. Because his mother had died. My father, as the one processing the paperwork, put my grandmother down.
Yeah, right. How I scanned the system. And now, she's the mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota. And guess what? Every single one of her votes is going to be for infinite migration and shutting down ICE and destroying our country and abolishing our borders and pro-crime, pro-immigrants raping you and honestly, you should lube your butthole before going in public just to make it a little easier for the immigrants as they try to rape you. You know, and this is insane. Like, this is their policy. All right? So we got body cams they beg for, absolutely ending the BLM movement. All right? Look at how the Guardian reports the story. California officer shoots and kills boy 15 holding a gardening tool. Yeah, holding a gardening tool, man. But, like, again, this is crazy. Like, this would have been another George Floyd situation if we didn't have body cams. But this is what society wants. They want to turn it into a PvP server. This is literally the leftoid policy. Which, you know, like, for example, all right, everyone's talking about how Zoran Mamdani won, and he's a beacon for Islam everywhere. That's right. We need to bring the pedophile religion into every home, into America. All right, so Sneako gets punched in the face in New York City. This happened like 2 weeks ago, but there's a reason why I'm showing this to you today.
And put your life force into
right, so this is Sneako. He's a based right-wing streamer. He hates Israel because he's cool.
sock. Yeah, you deserve to be publicly executed. Yes. What are we talking about?
Right, there he is. Bam! Bro gets obliterated in public. Now, just to be clear, I don't support this. I don't support the violence. But Sneako does. So I find this pretty interesting in general. Now, just to understand, Sneako decided that today, he made this tweet. Absolute joke at Zoran Mamdani. What did the detective say? Has not replied to my texts or calls. Because he's trying to find the guy that beat the shit out of him. I'll call again when I get home. Just got off work. I just called her again. I got sent a voicemail. I left a voicemail, so hopefully she'll call me back. Just got an update for the detective. They have identified the individual. There is the warrant for his arrest. He's homeless, so they haven't been able to find him. For the next incident he has, or in any capacity, he will be arrested. Absolute joke. The policy that you voted for isn't nice when they beat the shit out of you. Right? This is Sneako campaigning for Zoran Mamdani. Based right-winger Sneako, by the way, voting for Islamic communist extremist Zoran Mamdani because Sneako's allegiance is not to America, it's to Islam, it's to the nation.
So you don't have to like him. I don't like a lot of what he says too, but I think the best option we have is to try to push him in the right direction.
That's right. I don't like what he says, like, you know, communism, infinite third world immigration, you know, stuff like that, but attacks white people extra, you know. But we have to get him elected anyway, because at least he hates Jews or something.
Is he saying he's going to stay here and not focus on Israel? That's a...
There it is. It's about Israel. We need to elect this guy because of Israel.
Thanks for coming. Wait, you much rather him be in Africa than here?
Yeah, I'd also rather if Zoran Mamdani was in Africa. That's true based. Anyway, so he literally, he campaigns to elect this guy, gets this guy elected. He ends up in the PvP server of life with infinite homeless people. They beat the shit out of him. They never arrest the guy. He's crashing out publicly. Why are they not arresting this guy? It's like literally just a taste of your own fucking medicine, dude. This is insane. Now, Zoran Mamdani, of course, has been, this has been truly tragic, heartbreaking for the Zoran Mamdani fan club. I am horrified and angered by the swastikas painted on the homes and synagogues in Queens, including on a plaque honoring the survivors of Kristallnacht. This is not just vandalism, it's a deliberate act of anti-Semitic hatred meant to instill fear. By the way, this sentence is ChatGPT, which again implies that the entire tweet is ChatGPT. Just to understand, right, it has the M dash. Every time you see this dash in a post, it's ChatGPT. But also, it's not just this. It's this, right? Every time you see that, it's ChatGPT. Get used to it, all right? So a couple Jews get attacked. This is not just vandalism. It's a deliberate act of anti-Semitic hatred meant to instill fear. There's no place for anti-Semitism in Queens or anywhere in our city. I stand in solidarity with the Jewish neighbors. Anyway, anti-Semitic violence, as it's called, increased by like 150% ever since Zoran Mamdani was elected. On average, there is one Jew getting beaten up per day in New York these days. Kind of wild how, like, they import Muslims into England, there's anti-Semitic violence. They import Muslims into New York, there's anti-Semitic violence. Now, I personally can't possibly figure out what could be causing this, but I do very much appreciate the nice ChatGPT post about it. That's pretty awesome. Zoran Mamdani, of course, cuts the NYPD wherever he goes to make sure the anti-Semitic violence can be as prevalent as possible.
As I've made very clear, that our laws leave no room for interpretation about the fact that our NYPD will not participate in civil immigration enforcement.
That's right. If there's a guy named Abdul Ibn Mohammed Ahmed trying to kill some Jews, we want the NYPD as far away as possible because that guy's not legal here, so we have to make sure that he's okay. Awesome. So Hassan says, Israel defenders keep writing the exact same article every week, and it goes nowhere. Right? Opinion Democrats and the legacy media are right to call out Nick Fuentes. He deserves it. But that's no excuse to ignore Hassan Piker, right? So Hassan tweets this, saying, centrist, you're exactly the same. Nick Fuentes, we want to kill black people. Hassan Piker, we want civil rights. Now, the reason why this is funny is because this is the Democrat side, actually, and Hassan Piker supports terrorism. Nick Fuentes responds, you abuse animals and support terrorism. There is no moral equivalency. Completely true, by the way. Now, again, I want to make this clear. I have a privilege that most people don't. I have the privilege to get shit from, like, the far right and the far left. So I have to say, with absolute certainty, the far left is the problem, not the far right. Yeah, Nick Fuentes doesn't like the Jews, and he doesn't make that exactly a secret. But bro's not out there calling for violence every single day. He's not there endorsing terrorism and calling for violence and shit. It's like, oh my God, Nick Fuentes said the N-word. And then, like, Hassan Piker is like, we need to get terrorists to literally kill you. It's not the same, actually, at all. There really is no moral equivalency here whatsoever. When very devastated, he was crying like a baby. Van Jones of CNN came to me with a group of African American leaders he had dead in getting criminal justice reform approved in Congress. Van Jones and these black reps have been unsuccessfully fighting to get reform for many years. He was just wasting everyone's time. Needed 5 conservative senators. There was no chance or even hope for a win. I liked some of the people who was with him, agreed with what he was saying, and quickly rounded up the votes and needed to get criminal justice reform approved. It was not easy. Nobody else, including Obungus, who tried for years, could have done this. He's gay, by the way. Now I watch the guy, Van Jones, every chance he gets, calling me a dictator and far worse. He should be ashamed of himself. Again, because the left doesn't actually believe in anything, obviously. Now, the craziest thing is, we live in such a fucking PvP server that we just have to accept this as our new reality.
So this is the big problem of the day. McDonald's, as always. McDonald's to eliminate self-serve soda stations nationwide by 2032, citing changing consumer habits.
Changing consumer habits means they keep stealing our shit. That's right, that's what it means. It means that in these actual shithole Democrat-infested cesspools, they keep stealing our shit. And therefore, we will not be having self-serve because we cannot live in polite society with these animals. That's right, sorry. That's right. Absolutely. Now, again, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There's a good moral that I was taught a long time ago. It's a Jewish parable, actually. All right? And I think it's pretty based. If you have a guy who comes into town with a giant apple cart with 1,000 apples in it, and someone's like, well, I'll just steal one of those apples. It's not really going to make a difference. I'll just take one of those apples, and it's fine, right? It's not going to affect me. It's another 999 apples. It's not really going to affect anything. But what if everyone feels that way? Well, then that dude's going to have no fucking apples. The obvious moral here is that if you do some shit, you should expect everyone to do that shit. And if everyone does that shit, society will die. Now, that is, I think, the very basic moral here, but I think it goes even deeper to an extent that people don't want to actually engage with. The left doesn't believe in thou shalt not steal. Stealing is not just immoral because you're taking shit that belongs to someone else and it hurts them, because the left only believes in the basic policy of some sort of consent, right? If they consent or if it doesn't really affect them, who cares? They have completely flimsy, transient morality that they don't actually believe in anything, you'll notice. Again, that's the through line here is that leftists are immoral psychopaths. I'm really glad that people are picking up on the main on the messaging here. The real story is as follows. Stealing, yeah, it's bad because you're inflicting pain on other people, for sure. But stealing is immoral inherently. Even if you would be inflicting no pain, it would be immoral, because stealing is inherently evil. And the left just can't comprehend this, because they don't believe in any form of inherent morality. They don't believe in objective facts or objective morality at all. Therefore, you cannot trust them. You can't trust people that don't believe in thou shalt not murder as they abort their babies and try to assassinate the president, celebrate the murder of Charlie Kirk and justify it. Just the same way you can never trust people who do not believe that thou shalt not steal is an inherent immoral premise, because then they can just justify it. They can find ways to make believe it's actually good. I'm just taking a little bit of extra soda from the self-serve soda station at McDonald's. It's not really going to affect the multi-billionaires that own all the McDonald's around the country. It's not really going to affect those guys. It doesn't affect the workers because they get paid a salary. It doesn't affect the owners because they're billionaires, right? So it doesn't affect anybody if I just shoplift a little bit. Well, the actual answer is it does. It affects everybody. All of polite society falls apart because this shit is insane. Because thou shalt not steal is inherently immoral. It's not just immoral because of how it affects other people. And the left will never comprehend that because they don't believe in objective morality. Am I making my point?
Changing consumer I respond to this, right? And I say, we used to live in a country. Another aspect of public life that has been reduced to a low-trust, minimum-security prison to accommodate impulse-driven, subhuman animals
If you call black people that,
who should be put in jail.
oh my god, I can't believe you would just say that about the blacks. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke, obviously. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm kidding, obviously. Obvious joke. Obvious joke. Play the video.
That's what I think. Changing consumer habits can be here. I hate changing consumer habits. Oh my God. The same changing consumers that needed bulletproof glass at some locations. Isn't it crazy, bro?
We are changing consumer habits. That means that you have to actually call a manager at a Walmart to help you buy underwear because that shit is not accepted. You can't put that in your carriage anymore. They don't trust you.
Literally allowing our entire culture, our world, our lives to be run like a minimum security prison because we don't put 2% of people in maximum security prisons.
Yeah.
You know what? I know exactly what that sign is. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Because I read the tops of it. I said, that was a crazy movie. Wait a minute, boys. Somebody just found a leaked document from McDonald's Consumer Research Department. You go to McDonald's and ask for a water cup. I bet he's going to fill it up with soda. Bro, that's not water. What are you doing?
You mean they'll just steal?
Bullshit, they did it because we were stealing sodas every day. Sprite was my favorite to steal with the lemonade. Hey man, till I get a cup of water, boom, still drink soda right in front of them.
Yep.
They're so confident. They know that nothing's going to happen to them because, unfortunately, Democrat-run shitholes endorse this shit. Like, I'm just saying, and this isn't supposed to be, you're not supposed to draw any conclusions from what I'm about to say, but before colonialism, Zimbabwe was a shithole. During colonialism, Zimbabwe was a beautiful paradise. And after colonialism, Zimbabwe's a shithole. Now, I'm
Hybrids
not saying,
Absolute Ale.
I'm not trying.
Hey, what's up?
I have nothing, there's no reason why I brought that up at all.
I'm playing one of my low-level characters.
Hybrids Absolute, I got new pistol.
That's why, bro. They admitted
Yeah, I'm leveling up one of my lower-level characters. I got a precision guy. He's got uses a
that's just a bottle.
fencing rapier and I think a double barrel pistol. I don't remember.
Future doctor. That's what they said.
No, just Buccaneer's friend.
McDonald's are you not able to get ketchup by yourself?
A rapier of 1,000 cuts. That's what he uses. But they're both precision, so I think.
Hybrids Absolute, it's called the Plague Pistol. It's got life steal.
Oh, that sounds fucking badass.
Ketchup. What changed? Here's what changed. It's a bunch of liberal.
No law and order. No law and order. Listen, man, our civilization was based unbiblical doctrine. Law and order is a basic, fundamental part to society. And if you don't have it, society dies. Because you have these immoral fucking psychopaths that cannot be trusted to run their lives like civilized humans. And these slightly more intelligent apes are turning society into a shithole. I didn't mean that. That sounds like it came from a racist place, but I didn't mean it that way. I just meant that that these people are just immoral psychopaths. All of them, no matter who they are, whatever race they come from. They chimp around.
White people that have invented this idea that if you crack down on public dysfunction, you're going to end up arresting a bunch of minorities.
That's right. That's right. We cannot arrest criminals because it'll be racist. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
So we can't crack down on it
The
because
rapening continues.
in their mind, it's racist. Think about it. It's so fucking retarded. If you can get away with it, if you can do it, people are going to do it. So, yeah, I saw this. It made me very angry. It made me so angry and so upset.
It's just obvious, actually. It's just so obvious. Now, again, this is everywhere. These are trends. You know, free snack method. All right? Like, free snack method. Oh, we take the Doritos from the store and we open it in the store and then we put shit in the Doritos in the store and then we reseal up the Doritos bag after it's full of shit that we stole for free snacks. Then we go to the front of the store and if I was posting a TikTok like this, my dad would have beat the
Hybrids
shit out of me
Absolute.
as a
I
kid.
got it from the Plague Lands. You'll find it there.
This video, my dad would have beat the fucking shit
The
out of me.
Plague Lands,
And
is that like
never
the
done it
swamp
again.
area?
These
The
guys don't have dads.
what the
Listen,
fuck is it
man,
called?
You know why this is happening. Democrats are building society to collapse because of empathy.
The cursed swamp.
So much empathy for the
That's where you
retards
get
who
it,
are raping our
right?
civilization. It's so nice. Empathy for the cruel is cruelty to the innocent. And that's why we cannot have immoral psychopaths take power.
Hybrids
Fuck them.
Absolute. Yeah, I found it there.
So, Mouse PI for Hire got a review from IGN, and it was not well received. Let's find out why. Let's find out.
I love noir. I'll take all kinds. The hard-boiled detective, the seedy crime story, neo-noir, classic pulp, you name it, I'm buying.
Okay.
So when Mouse PI for Hire sauntered onto my screen the way Ilsa walks into Rick's in Casablanca, I was pretty...
See, I can already tell this is a theater kid. Like, using these illusions and allegories, only a kid that was in AP English in 12th grade would do that. I mean, not an incredible author and writer would never do this, but somebody who was an AP
Hybrids
English,
Absolute. It's awesome pistol. I also have my ship cannons maxed.
excited about it. But noir isn't just an aesthetic to be thrown on like an old coat as you're leaving your office at the behest of a leggy blonde. While Mouse PI for Hire clearly understands the style and tropes of classic noir films and novels, as well as 1930s cartoons more broadly, it doesn't seem to get why those things are there, or how they're used to tell compelling stories. By fusing a hard-boiled detective mystery with a fast, retro-styled FPS, developer Fumi Games has made a shooter that is thematically incoherent, with the apparent aspirations of its story contradicted at every point by the actual action. Of all the Steam libraries and all the PCs in all the world, Mouse PI for Hire walked into mine, and I wish I liked it more than I do.
It's over. You got nowhere left to run.
I run toward the dream. A bright future ruled by big
cheesy.
Mouse follows Jack Pepper, a private eye in a world where everyone is a mouse, after Wanda Fuller from the Mouseburg Herald sets him on the case of a missing magician.
I can give you more than a crumb, Jack. I can give you a magician.
As you'd expect, that spirals into a much bigger conspiracy that includes an attempt on a mayoral candidate's life and racially motivated mouse-on-mouse violence as bigger mice oppress the smaller shrews.
My buddy got nabbed for just being a shrew.
Same as it
What is shrew? Never mind.
ever was, even in Mouseburg, and the requisite twists and turns you'd expect from any good detective story make this tale solid enough.
I was in too deep. Way deeper than I signed up for.
What bothers me, however, is how overly referential so much of it is.
Yeah.
The world is full of mice, so everything is about cheese. Everything. A bad guy, he's a cheese-legger.
These cheese-leggers in on the shrew racket.
Run into a lady mouse with a sultry voice, it'll be described as
Gorgonzola picante slapped on a mozzarella platter.
someone need to assure you they're telling the truth.
Swear on my mama's cottage curds.
This is charming initially, then it never stops. Everything is a reference to the fact that everyone is a mouse and mice like cheese, and when it's not, instead it'll be a reference to an old cartoon, or the fact that this is a video game.
When you jump, just act like you didn't.
I should have probably guessed the former when one of the first things I saw was a steamboat named Willie, but at least that and the reference-heavy power-ups are cute. Constant callbacks to classic films or other video games? Not so much. And it doesn't end there. A boss fight in the sewers? It's a literal alligator, because of course it is. If you're looking for the cheese like...
Well, yeah. I mean, where would the alligator... Like... So, one of the criticisms of the game is there's an alligator in the sewer? I mean, like, I really... Like, are we on that level now? Are we in this situation? He's upset about an alligator? Damn, alright. Jesus.
In Foreman, Jack will quip that he doesn't look like much of a boss.
More like a mini-boss.
And then laugh at his own joke. The voice actors, led by Troy Baker, do an admirable job with what they have, but nothing in Mouseburg is allowed to just be. It has to be a mouse reference, or a literally cheesy one-liner.
Cheddar, what's wrong with Gouda?
No good if you broke, Jack.
Or a reference to something else.
Ticket seller, I'm going on a perilous journey, so I need your strongest tickets.
It's hard to care about anything in Mouse PI for Hire because it never stops making jokes about everything.
Here's Jacko.
It just wants to remind you of other better things, surely.
Is this the most Reddit review that you've ever seen? I think this might be the most Reddit review I've ever seen. This is really like, oh my god.
He's reviewing it like it's a movie.
Oh my, this is just crazy. Like, he's just saying shit. I know, he's just saying shit.
That's enough, right?
Like, I don't know anything about the gameplay.
See, here's the big problem that a lot of...
All I know is there's a lot of cheese jokes.
Everything that you've been talking about is retarded and nobody cares about it. You have spent
exactly.
Of the review complaining about references to cheese. You haven't talked about the actual gameplay. You haven't talked about the way that, you know, the environment is. You haven't talked about the world building. You haven't. Well, I guess you talked about world building, to be fair. You haven't talked about like the overworld map. You haven't. There's like nothing about this is about a video game. Nothing. This has nothing to do with the actual video game. It's just bullshit.
At least the shooting is better. This is the latest in a wave of boomer shooters inspired by old school FPSs like Doom or Quake, and it's a decent one at that. You start with a pistol in Jack's fists, but you'll soon acquire a shotgun, dynamite, a James gun, which is just a Tommy gun, and more unique stuff like the Devarnisher, which shoots what looks like Elmer's glue that melts the flesh from your enemy's bones, leaving only a skeleton. Throw in stuff like a double jump, dash, spinning tail for hovering, and a slide, and Jack's got some stylish moves when the bad guys show up. This ain't Quake, but it does feel good. It doesn't hurt that all of it, from reload animations to random conversations, is rendered in an absolutely gorgeous black and white mix of sprite work and 3D models. The world building...
You're not telling me that you're going to tell me the world building and the gameplay and the graphics and everything are good, but you're going to give it a low score because they said cheese too many times? Like, there's no way this happened, right? There's no way.
Mouse PI for Hire is still dressed to the nines. Even here, though, I have issues. Weapons can feel weak, especially the shotgun. It's got the audio...
What?
Audio kick of a pop gun, and there's a strange disconnect to seeing something that sounds like a kid's toy blow off some poor mouse's head as you paint
the sound effect for the shotgun.
Right. The world with black ichor that spews from his neck. Enemies mostly come out of doors marked with a skull that you can't enter, robbing these areas of anything remotely resembling a sense of place. Levels also really like to...
Which is, how many of you guys, whenever you were a kid, you could recognize the guy's gonna come out of that barrel because that barrel's animated differently. I hate to tell you that, but I mean, that's continuity right there. It is. That's the way it went. It was so obvious, right? Different color door? Yeah.
Hold it, we're gonna lock you in a room and throw baddies at you until they're dead or you are, shtick. A little too much for my taste. None of this is game-breaking. The combat is fundamentally good enough to carry you to the end of the roughly 12-hour campaign, but sometimes it feels like being at a show that's never quite bad enough to leave. And at least on the normal difficulty, health items are so generous there's rarely a challenge. Like any good boomer shooter, there are plenty of secrets to find. Newspapers, weapon upgrades, schematics, baseball cards, and so on. Fragile walls to blow up, and even locked safes to open with your tail, which pulls double duty as a lockpick. Some of these locks are on a time limit, or must be solved in a limited number of moves, and you only get one shot at the good stuff they hold. Others are so easy you could probably solve them by letting an actual mouse run across your keyboard. It's very jarring.
Well,
Once you're done with the level, it's back to the hub, which encompasses Jack's office, the local bar, store, weapon upgrade shop,
I don't even know what to say.
My favorite thing here is the baseball card minigame you can play at the bar.
It's normal,
you switch between pitching and being at bat, and using the cards in your hand, players and abilities, to try to score as many runs as you can. It's fun. What I like less is the whole being a detective thing, mostly because I never actually got to do it. Any clues you find will be pinned to Jack's caseboard, and once you get them there, Jack will just intuit where to go. No work on your part required. What's the point of being a gumshoe if all the answers are handed right to me?
Better check it out. It began with
it's a narrative story, like it
familiar.
That brings me to one of my major problems with Mouse PI for Hire. Look, I hate to be that guy who brings up ludonarrative dissonance in a video game review.
Ludonarrative dissonance. Here we go. All right, let's hear it.
In the year of our Lord 2026, and if you're rolling your eyes right now, I can't blame you, but it's an actual issue here. Jack Pepper is a PI who kills more people in a single mission than Philip Marlowe has in every book Raymond Chandler ever wrote combined. I don't care how corrupt the cops are.
And he's complaining about allegories and references in his review. Meanwhile, he makes the most pretentious and annoying allegories and references in his own review to different things. This is crazy. Oh my god.
Private detective can't break into a police station and slaughter them en masse and then go about his day. In one particularly nonsensical scenario, Jack inadvertently
Wait
burned...
a minute. Are you telling me that it's unrealistic that the mouse with a gun stopped the cannon from killing the mayor candidate? With a chandelier? Are you telling me that that didn't happen? Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Let me get this locked in.
He's down an opera house to save a guy running for mayor, and he ends up fighting an opera singer and shoots her. Is she dead? Did I just kill an actress for being angry I burned down her workplace? If I didn't, have I left her alive and unconscious inside a burning building?
So this is like you're actually retarded. And this is the problem with people that are retarded, is that in a lot of cases they don't know they're retarded. It creates a lot of problems. Inside of the conversation that you had with the stagehand in this this level, he said that there were a lot of random people that were brought in from outside of the normal stage performance, and they were the ones that were suspicious. And you go through the mission fighting them. So the implication would be that this person would also be that person. Like even inside of this like self-masturbatory, you know, film critique ludonarrative language, you're still wrong. It doesn't even make sense. It's in a cop mission. He says they aren't real cops. They're goons who took over the police station. I haven't seen that far. I didn't get that far.
This get long the kingdom come.
Mouse PI for Hire doesn't tell me, and it doesn't seem to care either way.
It did tell you. It told you. It did tell you. Whenever the stage person, it said that.
Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
None of this is to say that noir cannot or should not be violent. The violence usually has a purpose. Much of Elliot Chase's seminal novel Black Lens Has My Angel is about robbing an armored car, but the book builds to that. It's a big deal when it finally happens, and the characters have to reckon with the fallout once it does. Jack Pepper, on the other hand, is a walking catastrophe, and nobody in Mouseburg seems to care. He largely gets to go about his business and is portrayed as a down-on-his-luck everyman PI, like the characters who inspired him, when he is, at best, a mass murderer.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, I in a lot of this, I don't even really have a comment for it because it's just so pretentious and obnoxious that it's impossible to even say anything about it. Like, for example, the guy's a mass murderer. Well, what do you think Super Mario is? What do you think Sonic the Hedgehog is? What do you think? I mean, the entire premise of this is ridiculous. And also, like, in a lot of noir, I mean, like, there's very commonly people that get shot. And, like, people get killed constantly. They don't give a shit about that. Same with police officers. It's not like he's going into the police station and killing all of the people that are actual police officers. They said it's fake police officers. This reviewer is a soy boy 100%. I mean, I don't even know if it's that low. Is it only 100%?
The Buccaneers remember their friends.
Implying something, Mr. Pepper?
Me? Imply? Never. I just connect the dots.
Does that make for a more fun video game? Maybe. But it's bad noir and the worst detective tale.
Do you think you're gonna get Sin City? Out of Mickey Mouse gets a gun and goes to 1930s fucking New York? Really? Whose review is he watching? A retard's.
The story is Mouse PI for Hire references violence is an unfortunate but unavoidable part of the human experience that shatters the people it touches. Here...
Oh my... Dude, let me go back. We've got to listen to this again. Oh my god.
In the story as Mouse PI for Hire references, violence is an unfortunate but unavoidable part of the human experience that shatters the people it touches. Here, it's just entertainment, and that weakens the whole concept. But Will...
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
You might say, this is a goofy Looney Tunes FPS. Why should I care about any of that? And the answer is because Mouse wants you to. It wants you to believe this is important. You spend a lot of time talking about these characters, about putting together the clues you need to get to the bottom of what's going on, about Jack's motivation for doing the work. He allegedly needs the money, which both leads him to taking cases and doesn't track when I'm super rich from all the killing.
Nonsense. You're drowning in debt, picking up small fries and petty cases.
All of that makes a lot less sense after you've gone to Tinsel Bros Studios and single-handedly eradicated the mob hanging out there, all while doing a bunch of Tomb Raider / Indiana Jones / Conan the Barbarian impressions, as everyone says you should be an actor.
So tell us, hero, what is best in life?
To grate some parm, watch the cheese melt, and hear the joyful squeaks of my dinner guests.
Give this guy a week on the job as chief of police in Mouseburg would be the safest city in the world because nobody would be left alive to commit crimes in the first place. It's hard to buy into Jack as the regular guy who needs to gather evidence I'm told he is when he just wiped out the local police department, you know?
But these are like fake cops, right? Like, are these actual are these the actual police officers, or are these people that took over the police station? They're fake cops. Does it matter? Well, yeah, because it's not even true.
The police car made. We sure went big on this one.
Mouse PI for Hire nails the aesthetics of both the 1930s cartoons and the detective stories that inspired it. And it's also an amusing boomer shooter that largely feels good as you're playing it. But its haphazard
narrative...
So the
game's good. Okay.
Noir storytelling tropes and shooter gameplay are often at odds with each other in uncomfortable ways that weaken both aspects, and the writing is so busy making references to other things that it's actually painful to sit through at times. This FPS is solid enough if you just want to blast some cartoon mice and not think about it too hard, but once you do, all you'll see are the scenes where disparate ideas have been fused together, and no trench coat can hide the stink of that moldy cheese. For more, check out our reviews of Pragmatic.
Let me go back. I'm gonna explain something maybe this person might not be aware of.
And Resident Evil Requiem. And for everything else in gaming, keep it here at IGN.
You're not a film reviewer. You don't review films. You don't review movies. You don't review TV shows.
I need my office,
you don't
my
review
tools,
books.
and a little common sense and Captain.
You are reviewing a video game. And if you subtract 4 points for that video game for basically ludonarrative dissonance, and which, by the way, I completely disagree with that. I think it's like there aren't like a lot of fast travel points. You're driving in the car. You getting killed makes sense. The weapons make sense. The characters being in the area makes sense. Like, it's not even true, number one. Number two is that I think maybe this person felt a little bit at risk, you know, like, because they're the only person that can make completely unnecessary, ridiculous, and completely like pretentious illusions and allegories to things that have nothing to do with what's being discussed. You're the only person that can do that. And so you want to make 5 or 10 of these yourself. And so whenever the game does it, it's bad. But whenever you do it in your review, somehow it's good. This is so annoying. I am so sick of these journalists that think that they're film critics. These are people that basically they want movies and video games to become art. And I'm going to explain the reason why they want that. It's not because they have a higher standard for the medium. It's because they want to improve their own social standing so they can feel like they're more sophisticated and high-minded than they actually are. You played a video game about a mouse with a machine gun shooting other mice. That's what it is. The problem is that so many of these video games are like, yeah, the story is like, it's a Pulp Fiction, like not the actual Pulp Fiction, but like, you know, just the 2 words put together. Like just retelling of a generic noir 1930s, you know, prohibition style story. Okay, sure, go ahead. The story is a backdrop. It's the memes and the gameplay that matter, right? And that's it. That's what matters. And what I have, he wants to be a real writer. Exactly, yeah. Like, these people don't want video games to become art and forms of media because they want the genre to become better. They want video games to become forms of art and media so they can cosplay as being this, like, you know, high-minded, educated individual. It's so pathetic and embarrassing. I don't even know what to say about it. I really don't. Like, Cleric Obscure is unrealistic because the French people fight back. Yeah, right. And, yeah, it's just, it's not that deep. He's forcing it to be deep. It is. And the weirdest thing is that, like, I think they should never have this person review another video game again. If you want to review a video game, go review Mouthwashing, Life is Strange, or another narrative video game. Like, get away from actual video games. Stop giving reviews and giving feedback for an actual video game just because you want to have a masturbation session about how much you understand noir media. It's pathetic. Like, that's what my opinion is. And I think they should be ashamed of themselves, giving this game a 6. I think it's a 7 or an 8 game. It is. It was a very well put together game. It was good. Like, it'd be great for Dispatch. Yeah, go review Dispatch. That's what I think. Read the comments. I'll link you guys the video. The review at the Shame Awards needs to be there. Yeah, they make money with reviews. Well, like,
yeah, but people remember this stuff and it's like negative. Good story, good gameplay, good ending. Yeah, it was a good game. It was definitely a good game. Waiter, my cartoon is too cartoony. Bro, definitely wash down the water. I'll take all kinds of noir unless it's not my kind. The best thing about this review are the comments. Plays a mouse game. Mad at the amount of cheese references. The studio didn't pay us 6 out of 10. This is the kind of guy who thinks mayonnaise is too spicy. I hate to be that guy. Proceeds to be that guy.
Proceeds to be that guy.
How fucking embarrassing. Oh, it's so embarrassing. I don't even know what to say. Federal officials cut Medicare to 500 LA hospices with 0 complaints. What?
Contracted with the city and county of Los Angeles to house and feed up to 600 homeless people, but instead he is receiving tens of millions of dollars to live a luxurious life. Exclusive Fox video shows the feds early morning cost here at the LA mansion. 42-year-old Alexander Suker was arrested. Suker's $125,000 Land Rover.
Did I see this?
By law enforcement. The feds say this is the spot of the city of LA out of 23.
No, I think this might be another guy.
Taxpayer dollars for not only his mansion and car, but a second home in Greece.
Going up against the Phil McCracken.
Wow. But he was living the high life while the people suffering homelessness on the streets with no shelter, no food. They're living out in the streets. People are literally dying. And this guy is out vacationing, buying homes, buying Range Rovers, and going shopping. It's a disgrace, man. There he is.
3 nutritional meals a day to the homeless, but during one inspection, Suker only had canned beans and ramen noodles on hand. The feds say various aspects of abundant blessings, including fake vendors, facilities, and the homeless actually getting moved. The U.S. Attorney's Office says they are actively investigating at least 12 other similar fraud cases here in California. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley says there's a tremendous amount of fraud in the state, and that today's bust one man who misused $23 million alone may show how little oversight there is.
Well, the oversight not existing is a feature, not a bug. The reason why they don't have oversight is it's basically an informal bribery program that LA has with all of their voters, where basically they create a bribery program where they fund the lifestyles of a bunch of people that are functionally fucking worthless and useless, and they let these people sit around, do nothing, steal stuff, and cause problems, and all those people do is they show up every 2 or 4 years and they continue voting to keep the gravy train running. And all the other people in the companies that are actually profitable and successful in California are subsidizing this lifestyle. That's really it.
I'd be curious if this guy donates to politicians.
I wouldn't be surprised, I'll tell you that.
Pushing this money out quickly. A lot of money went out the door. Frankly, very little vetting, very little checks and balances. And he's one of the individuals that got it. The suspect is scheduled to make his first appearance.
Jesus, bro. $125,000 Land Rover. Holy shit. A mansion in LA and a second home in Greece. 500 fraudulent hospice facilities closed down in California. Where are you? Think about that. That's 500 hospices? Think about how many that is. That's insane. That's crazy. So I don't even see how something like this can happen. How do you allow to have fraud on that insane of a level? And they want to arrest people like Nick Shirley? Of course they do. Because Nick Shirley is fucking with the system. The system, you pay these people to sit around and do nothing, and then they vote for you. So if you take away the payments, then you take away their funding, and these people have to leave, or they might vote for something different, or they're in one way or another not beholden to you. And the goal that they have is they want to make people basically reliant on the government for everything, so they can never afford to not vote for more advantages like that. Doctor, this is it right here.
Democrats arguing that this rooting out of fraud is cutting Medicaid services. What is your response to that?
Well, I mean, I think that honestly they are going to cut Medicaid services, and people probably will die because of this. Like, this is inevitable. Like, I don't think that they should use the messaging and say that, oh, well, we're not going to have any, we're never going to have any collateral damage. like we are going to have collateral damage. It's unavoidable, right? Whenever you're making decisions and you have hundreds and thousands of these places that you're shutting down, mistakes will be made. And people will be left without care that shouldn't have had the care. And if you didn't want that to happen, you should have run your system better, so we didn't have to take this dramatic, extreme action to undo all of the mistakes that you have made systematically. So this like the reframing of like, not only is it okay that these mistakes happen, but the mistakes are the fault of those people. Those mistakes are a second order effect of them not holding anybody accountable for these numbers. That's really what I think. What happens to the people that donate to the politicians to keep doing what they're doing in order to keep making money? Well, I mean, I think you just put them charge them and put them in jail, right? It's pretty simple.
Oh, they know it's manufactured. That's why when they say this sort of, like sheepishly mention the possibility that you might once in a while hurt someone that's innocent. I argue that if you take a child with autism and you give them the services they need, doing a great service, it's the right thing to do. We're great people. We'll always help folks in need. But if every mother is pretending because they're getting paid that the children in the neighborhood have autism, which is bad for those kids, by the way.
And you're seeing that.
And we're seeing that in Minnesota.
It's actually a really good point he's bringing up here with this. I don't know why the framing is this fucked up. But anyway, like, telling kids they have autism fucks with their brain. Like, I think that you shouldn't, like, maybe this is just my opinion, right? But I don't think you should tell kids that there's something wrong with them. Like, unless it's, like, a really, really big issue, like, it's better to try to let a kid try to live a normal life than tell them that, like, there are all these things wrong with you, and so this explains every interaction that you're ever going to have, right? I think it's very dangerous to do that. Unless they're fat or gay, of course.
Take a budget from $3 million to $400 million. You do that by
3 to 400
creating programs and manufacturing services that aren't supposed to be used. But what you're doing is you're hurting the child who really has autism because they can't get access to services, and you're corrupting the entire system. We're seeing the same thing in California with hospice, where you have 1/3 of all the hospices.
Do you think we should be reimbursed? I think that we should absolutely be reimbursed, and I think that what we should do. So this is what I would do, is I would figure out all the people that were in on the fraud, and I would imprison them for the amount of time that it would take for them to work off the labor debt of the amount of money that they've defrauded us. So, like, let's say you defrauded us for, like, somebody said, like, $23 million. I guess you're in jail for 23 million years, right? Like, I don't know. And, like, that would be, and I would seize all their assets, take all of their stuff. And, if they're obviously, like, immigrants or something like that, or they're naturalized citizens from another place, I would denaturalize them, seize all their assets, and send them to, like, Rwanda or something, right? Like, that's what I would do. And because I think that we should get our money back, right? I mean, they came here, they scammed us. We should get our money back because we got scammed, right? I mean, it's our money, it's not their money. So that's what I would do. You need to build a lot of prisons. I know. And I think that we could have them doing that, right? You could have them building their own prisons. That's a good idea. Just put, like, shock collars on them or something like that. And that way, if they try to, like, do something wrong, you just zap them, right? It's pretty fucking easy.
Entry are in Los Angeles.
And, like, by the way, like, I'm being completely serious about this. Like, this is actually what I think we should do. Like, actually, this is what I think we should do. Yeah, 100%.
Not California, just LA. I mean, how many people are dying there?
Yeah.
Right? So you obviously have allowed
Well, they're a red flag.
And I'll make this announcement on your show.
Where you get the idea from? I don't know.
Payments to 450 hospices in California.
450.
Guess what? Not one has called us asking the reason to file.
So 450 out of 450 were frauds. And nobody's calling to be reinstituted because they know what they were doing was fraud, and they were just trying to ride the gravy train all the way down to the station as far as they could possibly go. Of course, you like Dr. Oz? I love him. I think he's great. I didn't like him whenever he was running against John Fetterman. I didn't like Dr. Oz. But, he's in a role that he really understands. I think he's incredibly competent in that role, and I think that what he's doing is something that's invaluable, and it's something that's necessary. I'm very, very favorable towards him.
They may change their minds over time, but in 10 weeks, we've shut down 450 payment systems to these guys. That's representing at least $600, $700 million just this year, and no one's complaining.
That's right. And, it's the same thing with the Minnesota daycares.
how is it that we could shut down all those daycares and bring all that up and all the daycares stop working, then nobody's complaining
This is
about
the
their
wrong
kids
button.
not having somewhere to go? Like, wouldn't you expect that if you have hundreds of these kids on the rolls, the attendance roll, and you have, you know, hundreds of these places, that you would have like a massive outcry of these people that were furious that their benefits are being taken away? Why aren't leftist streamers talking about this fraud? The reason why is because the fraud subsidizes the demographics that they want to bring into the country. That's the reason why. So the reason why leftists like the fraud is because the fraud is necessary as a form of welfare in order to allow the demographics that they want to ethnically replace people in America. They want those demographics to come in, but those people can't make a living here unless it's fraud, unless it's some form of manipulation, like illegal under-the-table labor. So that's the reason why. Yeah, fraud creates the illegals. Exactly. It's first scam. Do so weird now? Well, let me get this straight. So you say this is weird. What about what I'm saying isn't true? I'm going to pull you up. We haven't pulled today. You're so weird now. What about what I said is not true? Go ahead. What is it? I want to understand this. I want to get to the bottom of it. What about this? What about what I'm saying is weird? Another my feelings, Anthony. Yeah, and if you vague post, you're permit. Any vague post is a permit. Be specific or you're banned. We gotta wait for it. Surely there's gonna be something that's saying Democrats want this. You know that isn't true. Well, why do you think that isn't true? Why do you think that isn't true? Like, I think they do. I think their entire voting structure is built around creating people that are basically serfs to the government, and then keeping those people on the government payroll, and those people afraid to vote against them because they might get taken off the payroll. I think that's exactly what's happening. How is it not obvious that they're the ones that want this? I'm confused. They're buying votes? Yeah, they're obviously buying votes. Every time you do this, you call out it's a minority group. Democrats scream racism. What does he mean? They don't want this? Yeah, of course. Well, they use racism as a way
Ah, shit, I left my money.
Racism. They say, well, you can't say this because it's a minority group doing this. And so if you criticize it, it's, you know, by abstraction, it's racism. Too bad. Call it whatever you want. It's still true. That's just the way it is.
I wanted to go in here. Grab. Oh.
It's very obvious that they're doing this, right? I mean, like, why do you think this is happening to all these leftist groups? But it looks like there's no response at all. This person's taking too long to respond. Like, if you were faster, I would have let this go. But I don't want to spend like, how long is it going to take to just type out like?
You know what? Give me like.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Oh my God, it's a waste of time. Whoever still supports the government.
Give me 40 of these.
Sure. Same thing as no King's protest. Someone planted the seed to control the masses, to control votes. Yeah, I think so. The Democrat Party has been co-opted by communism. Well, the reality is that all of these people can't live in the U.S. and they can't sustain themselves unless it's fraud. They have to basically be babysat by America in order for them to live here, right? Because they're not producing anything of value. And so because of that, well, that's why you have all this fraud. That's why you have all the scams. It's because the scams and the fraud are necessary. And you're kind of wrong about scammers. They're just peons here. I don't think that's really true. You should jail the politicians and the magistrates that allowed this to happen, not only the scammers. Oh, I agree with you. I would pull you up and argue with you, but I think that we basically agree. I mean, you're saying that the politicians are the ones that are allowing it to happen. I think you're right. You are, and I'm totally fine with that. But either way, let's see here. One more.
All right, well.
100 hospices. We've already shut down 500 hospices in Los Angeles. And And incidentally, we haven't had one call from Congress or anybody else about complaining because clearly these were fraudulent. A lot of these places, like you say, they'd have, they were just invented addresses. They would obtain facial identification.
Bullshit addresses.
Or they would pay people. They were going and giving people in poor neighborhoods flat screen televisions.
See, what you need to do is you need to get every single one of those poor people in the neighborhood, you need to put every single one of them in jail. Every single one. And then put them on mandatory work programs, figure out how much they defrauded, and then after that, they have to work all of that off.
600.
I can guarantee you that society will be a better place without those people in it. Guaranteed. Like anybody who's scamming the government like that, we don't need them.
And they would enlist them and enroll them in the hospice, and we were paying them $6,000.
Yeah.
We do 30, shut down 500 hospices.
12 cents an hour? Yeah, I like that.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, I like that. 12 cents an hour, that seems pretty reasonable. You see the exit count of the dude that was mad that you can't see up Diana's dress and Pragmatic got suspended $6? I didn't see that. Just seems like a weirdo. I mean, again, it's not really that complicated, but their phone goes to voice rail, location is entry. Okay, all right, one more.
What's up, you guys? I'm here in Signal Hill at 2930 Gardena Avenue, where Angelus Hospice Incorporated, actually titled under Panacea Hospice, doing business as Angelus Hospice, doesn't have its door open, has a business card. Guy next door says they've changed.
I mean, it looks like an empty building. I mean, I'm sorry. There's no sign anywhere. There's no label on the door. There's no documentation on the sides here, except for probably like a building code inspection. This looks like an empty fucking building, guys.
Locations, and in 2025.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hot channel, so we focus on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's the meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. You know, there's so much effort, I'd even argue on both sides for President Trump to change. The sentence usually starts with
Oh, God.
then followed by a preach.
Here we go. It's the dance of life, while the times to right, where women undergo. We don't give a damn when the game is done. How hard the winds did blow. Homeward bound, it's the grand old sound on a good ship, taut and free. And we don't give a damn when we drink our rum, but the girls of old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to old Maui. House off the breeze of the tropical seas, now the ice is for us turn. And the native maids in the Highland glade are awaiting our return. Even now their big black eyes look out and
Oi. There's a lot of dudes hanging out over here. That's it? Ugh. Guys could load a little quicker. Fuck. Where's your monkey? Where's your monkey? Come here, you. Ugh. Alright, here comes a quick little fight. You know what? I'm just gonna. Oh.
Keep your powder dry.
Oh, I gotta get him powder, ain't it? I think. Yeah, this dude's pretty badass, man. I don't think he's good enough to beat that boss. But he jacked some clowns up, man. Yeah. Got Barney badass right here, man. What we got jumping off in here? A little bit of that. A little bit of that. Any more? It says 040 because it's, yeah, because it's yeah, the boss's chests. I'm not going in there for that boss yet. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try him. Oh, because I can't get in there because of the... Damn it. Alright, well... Let me head south. morning, ladies ho. All right. Oh, damn it.
You're alive. Not for long.
Oh, god damn.
Send me best, Davy Jones.
Shit, and I forgot to do it again. Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Not for long. Eat this.
That was goddamn close. That might be a little too fast for me.
Helm's yours, Cotton. That's the wind.
Okay. Let's get this dude. I don't even know how many are still here, man. Alright, there's only one left. And there he is. Not in a good position. Oh, I sank him with my bow cannons. Is this the island I'm supposed to be on? Apparently it is. Shit, I don't have any gunpowder. Or I don't have any bullets. Oh! Oh, I don't need crab meat. Go both of those. Oi. Oh, come on, get away. Space for a goddamn guinea. Dude came up behind me. I didn't even see him. Son of a bitch, I didn't leave a thing there. I'm gonna lay in my bed until daytime. Alright. Oh, eat some breakfast. I fucking lost everything. Seriously? Good. Damn it. Oh, why are you being so sweet, crazy? Don't chew on my cord, you dick. Stop being a dick. Ugh. Hey, man, you don't need to verbally abuse him like that. You could have just told him, all right, stop singing. Holy crap. I'm full up already. Ugh. Yeah.
Free proclaims matter more than coin.
Wait, what?
Now, if you think America's bad, oh my god, look at the absolute fuckery that is going on in Europe. Every day it gets worse. J.K. Rowling is going crazy on them. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. Counter-terror police are investigating an arson incident in the synagogue in East London, bro. This is every day.
It's breaking news to bring you now from the Metropolitan Police. They say the counter-terrorism police are investigating arson at a former synagogue. It's a site in Nelson Street, Tower.
It's every day. It's every day. I made a joke talking about Islamic terrorism in the UK, and I'm like, it was a new one today. All right, and then the guy who was talking to was like, I love what you have to say today. And I said, yeah, 'cause there was one yesterday. It's daily. There's a daily Islamic terror attack in England. All right, now, look, man, obviously we don't know if these were Muslims, but they probably were. And you can say that I'm racist, but you're probably not going to say that I'm wrong. Eventually. This is literally breaking news. This just happened, like, while I was recording this video. All right, just understand, J.K. Rowling has been going insane on these people. So there was just two stabbings of Jews. Two Jews got stabbed by a Muslim guy in England. And people are like, I can't believe this. And that Muslim guy that stabbed two Jews also stabbed another Muslim guy. Just to be clear. All right, who was at the scene as well. Now, just to understand what's going on, the left in England is now saying, well, obviously this wasn't like a hate crime or anything, because the dude stabbed a Muslim too, so it's obviously not a Muslim extremist. I can't believe this even needs to be said. A Muslim man stabbing his Muslim friends before going on an anti-Semitic rampage and stabbing Jews is obviously not the same. One is a hate crime, the other isn't. Dude's just a complete and utter retarded piece of garbage filth that was imported into your country. Just to be clear, J.K. Rowling agrees, obviously. Now the Muslims are upset at her, right? She got the trans people and the Muslims, the ultimate alliance, the ultimate reject alliance of people came together to be upset at her. A lot of us Muslims love your Harry Potter books. You supported your actions against the trans movement, but it's very important that you attack us for being anti-Semitic. When we are just advocating for the truth. The Israel of today is not the ancient theocratic nation of Israel. My guy, a Muslim just stabbed two Jews in London. Like, can we understand the level of bullshit that goes on in society? But it's like, I actually do not support Muslims stabbing Jews in London. Muslims be like, we just criticize society. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. All right, now, Owen Jones says, this piece is disgusting. It's disgusting. It's written by Janice Turner, who isn't Jewish. You have Zach Polanski, who is. Zach Polanski.
I'll eventually find it.
Party in England, by the way. Right? It's very clear what the British media is trying to do. They are going to try and de facto strip his Jewish identity away from him. What? Zach Polanski doesn't care. Two Jewish men are stabbed in London, the most famous Jewish neighborhood. And on Twitter, he's picking up the victims and everyone who will once be shaken by the attack. No clue from Zach, who does everyone like me. Instead, he delivers the minimum sympathies decent requires, etc., etc. Now, to understand, this isn't even anti-Semitism as a major issue, to be clear, as much as it is Islamic terrorism. So, J.K. Rowling says, the man who spent years talking over and attacking women for defending their rights, from trans people, has now decided he must belong to a protected group to express an opinion on the threats facing it. Like, understand the level of retard we're dealing with in society. And of course, the response is the same every single time. This is what the journalist guy responds. One, if I wrote about a Jewish person, Jew is his political shield. That would be the end of my career.
I'm splitting it up. Privateer and a filibuster. That's just because I'm using a lower level character. I want both perks.
It's just become the ultimate Trojan horse for like every single issue that leftists have everywhere on the planet to be like, actually, you have to support Muslim stabbing Jews in public in London because Palestine. It's like, oh my fucking god, people are evil retards. And to be clear, yeah, there's anti-Semitism in Nero Caesar here to import it. That's the crazy thing. The far right in England is not doing shit to the Jews because there really isn't a far right in England right now. Right? You know, I'm sure there's some retard neo-Nazi in his basement that wants to kill Jews or something, but the violence is all coming from the Muslims. And no one actually wants to engage with the actual conversation that needs to be had. The people that are stabbing the Jews and blowing up the ambulances and burning the synagogue are the same people that are raping the white girls. It's the same people every time. Like, and people like to coordinate it and funnel it into like little miniature microcosm conversations. The issue is actually the same, and it's the same that's happening everywhere. A car plowed into a crowd in Leipzig, Germany, killed 2 people and injured several others. But hey, it's just a little random coincidence. It's totally not a fault of immigration. All right, in Coctyplan, British Columbia, Indian immigrant washes clothes in river using harmful detergent. Local shouts at him that the detergent will affect people, but he doesn't care.
No, we don't put soap in the river. There's salmon. There's salmon and all sorts of fish. This is a protected area. Please no soap or detergent in the river.
He doesn't care. You're poisoning fish, but guess who doesn't care, ladies and gentlemen? Guess who doesn't care? It's pretty insane. So a Rwandan immigrant had asylum application rejected, but he stayed in France anyway, and no one bothered to deport him. The local priest gave him a job looking at the cathedral. The priest sent him to stay his home with him. What a nice unnecessary. And he set the cathedral on fire, and he murdered Emmanuel Abaisanga. He spent 30 years in prison. Wow, this could have been avoided, actually. You know, I know this is a controversial take, but they could have avoided all of this if they had a little less retard, toxic empathy for these fuckers that are coming into the country. All right, you know, we could avoid them. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think someone like this could integrate into society so well. Afghan businessman openly sells vile 9/11 rug in Santa Barbara. You know, I actually don't think this person could integrate into modern society. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think so. It's finally cooling down in this room.
Consult the map. These are North Americans, these are South Americans, Europeans, Asians, Australians, and Knifemen. Alright, there's nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see here, guys. It's just a Knifeman classic Barcelona situation. Nothing to see here. Alright, now, in fact, here's a crazy twist. This was the 5th stabbing attack in Barcelona in 24 hours. All done by immigrants. Immigrants, I call them. Invaders, some would call them. A man in critical condition being stabbed several times by Nations, man, you know, upstanding civil society, all right. Civil reality came from these people, all right. I'm not gonna lie. What are we doing? Based on the biblical values of law and order that these countries were founded upon, Christian civilization, where people trusted each other. Not anymore. I wonder what happens when you import infinite retards from the third world and you refuse to do anything about it. Well, that's just life. Just have to live with it, I guess. Clashes between police and protesters outside of the Islamic Jihadi Center in Crewe. Yeah, we're just supposed to tolerate this on a daily basis. This totally is not because of some form of religion or ethnic difference. Right? This is totally not some sort of cultural difference. We just have to tolerate the fact that this happens on a daily basis in our countries. Now, the greatest part is, these people say because these people are nice enough to be honest about it.
He says, Muhammad married a 6-year-old girl. He was a warlord. He was a slave owner. And I wish at 6 years
Man, I wish I was raped as a kid. That's random brainwashed jihadi that's imported into our country.
even one that he would speak for my hand in marriage at age 1. I wish it was me.
She wishes she was raped as a 1-year-old baby. She wishes. Now let's import into these guys, please.
So if you think you're gonna make me think a certain way about him, think again. Islamophobe. Goodbye.
You Islamophobe. You don't like babies getting raped. You Islamophobe. And like they openly say it themselves. I don't mean Islamophobic here. Crashing out about like little things without actually addressing the main issue, which is the ideology that a lot of these people hold, the cultures that a lot of these people come from, is actually the issue. I know we're supposed to make believe all cultures are equal and the same and shit like that. They don't have to believe that you're made in the image of God. They also believe the reason why our civilization is better is because we're based on balance and
of our side to conquer Europe by force. They didn't wrong, very wrong. They tried for many years to conquer Europe through wars.
That's right.
On wars.
But they couldn't. They tried so hard to kill the Europeans, to conquer Europe with wars, but they failed.
This is the soft Islamic conquest of the West. Basically, what the Islamic again, I'm an Orthodox Muslim. What we couldn't do in the last 20 years,
Isn't that nice? Isn't that beautiful? They say it themselves, man. And he tried for 700 years to conquer Europe by force, but he failed. Partially because we're inbred, partially because Allah was not on our side. But now we're letting the Europeans are letting us conquer them anyway. The subjugation of a generation of women, and it's amazing, guys. No, they openly say it themselves, but we're not allowed to acknowledge the issue. We're not allowed to actually acknowledge the issue. A couple Muslims blow up a church. Oh, it's just Christianophobia. Heartbreakingly, I try to cover it as much as I can. Guy drives into a Christmas market in Germany and just runs some people over. That's just a bad driver, I guess. Can we acknowledge the elephant in the room, please? Please? Yeah, pretty insane. Isn't that an incredible society that we built, where these people can come in, we will pay them to be here, and then they'll just conquer us? Like,
What do you? Come on, buddy. All right.
So openly. Well, listen, man, this is Germany.
All right, come on. You gotta sit. Oh.
200 Islamic terror attacks. This is Poland. Between 2016 and 2025, they had 0 Islamic terror attacks. Guess which one is open border policies? So this is a story of suicidal empathy. I feel like it's important for people to understand it and live in the correct times. Understand what society is right now.
A refugee.
Because a little bit of radical honesty will change your perspective on life.
His welcome open border activist invited an African migrant to stay in her.
Isn't that beautiful? She was so wholesome. She's an open border activist. So she invited some Africans to stay in her home, expecting them to live in the same cultural way that they live.
What could possibly go wrong? Estevali's courtesan started with the best of intentions.
Mira, yo le conocí, a ver, yo estoy en una plataforma que ayudamos a personas inmigrantes y refugiadas.
She really did commit to the cause.
Entonces acogimos en nuestra casa. Pues venían a dormir al sofá.
A middle-aged woman inviting random African boys to sleep on a sofa.
And the sad thing is, like, these people actually psyop themselves into believing that all cultures are the same. And that these people don't come from backwards, inferior fucking cultures. Alright? These people are supposed to sit here and be like, yep, that's right. That's right, we're all just people, and people are all the same, and society is equal everywhere, and cultures are beautiful everywhere. These people psyop themselves into believing this shit, man.
Look, she just wanted to help.
Entonces, esta persona había estado en casa
Why?
de sus compañeros durante un mes. Yo estaba buscando un inquilino, él buscaba la habitación, me dijeron que no habían tenido ningún problema con él.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We've had absolutely no problems with him. Honestly, it was
Alright, this is good. What a fantastic experience.
There's been a little cultural enrichment about it.
What's going on there? like to take a shower, but the floor is full of shit.
He hates her dog and has zero respect for her property.
Esta es la silla que tú me vas a hacer. Este es el carrito de mi hija que no odia. Por favor. Así.
That shit. He treats your thing badly.
Suffice to say, doesn't appear very grateful.
Oh, you're freaking kidding me.
Él desde que se levantaba hasta que se acostaba, su único objetivo era molestarme. Entonces, por ejemplo, a las 12 de la noche se levantaba al baño y dejaba las luces
He would
encendidas.
get up at midnight and leave the lights on, and I would have to get up and turn them off.
Las tenía que levantarme a apagarlas. A las 2 de la madrugada, lo mismo. Tenía que levantar
Same thing at 2 in the morning.
a apagarlas. A las 6 de la mañana, él se levantaba, ponía música, ponía
He would just blast music at 6 a.m.
alarmas con el móvil, ponía todas las luces encendidas.
This is amazing. You mean he doesn't actually care about your well-being whatsoever at all? You mean he's not at all grateful for this, and it's just a complete entitlement situation?
Encendidas, abría la ventana,
Just an utter cacophony of endless noise and disruption.
todo. Poniendo la televisión hasta las 12 de la noche a tope para que no pudiera dormir.
He wouldn't be able to sleep because he keeps the television on till midnight.
Llegó, pues, hasta más o menos un año durmiendo 3 horas al día.
It was at this point that you might think she'd be doubting diversity's our greatest strength, but it gets worse again.
Una vez, sí, una vez llegué a casa, en el comedor, pues en la sala, y me senté a cenar. Él estaba con el portátil y estaba viendo porno.
He was just sitting there at the kitchen table watching porn,
Had to
blasting that shit.
blur it, but you can take a wild guess at what he was watching on his laptop. This went on for an entire year. Because of her pathological altruism, she endured it.
Esto lo hace para sacarte de tus casillas, para intentar que te vayas, para que...
God damn it.
Challenge fail.
Para que salgas en la casa, o esto... Sí. No tiene suficiente. Y son 11 meses y no se cansa.
11
It's
months.
worse again, having acknowledged that she literally invited a psycho into her home.
O sea, yo estoy convencida que es un psicópata.
Esther Belize came up with a smart idea to fix the situation. Bring in another migrant to talk to the unwanted tenant.
That'll
Just
work.
convince him to be reasonable.
That's
That
right.
went well. The unwanted tenant tried to bite the other migrant's face off. I never thought leopards would eat my face, sobbed the woman who voted for the leopards eating people's faces party. He then harassed her, abused her with nasty insults, and assaulted a female friend who had visited the house in an attempt to mediate. Suffering a nervous breakdown, her life had become a living hell.
Bueno, tengo
And it's
psicólogo
all the consequences of her own actions.
desde hace un mes o así.
When social services ignored her plea,
Fui a la casa de la mujer y claro, como todo este tema no es violencia de género, no es mi pareja, pues en ningún sitio.
Hey, I don't actually want them to help her, I'm not gonna lie. I want her to figure it out. I want her to figure out the solution herself. Evicting him. Taking him out. That's right, that's the solution. And until she figures it out, I actually don't want anyone to help. Like, why should your taxes be funding social services to help her from a situation that she literally invented? And I think it's awesome. I think every single activist, every single immigration activist needs to do this. They all need to live with one of these motherfuckers.
Esther Belize finally contacted the police, only to be told that squatters have rights and that she'd have to continue to pay for him to live there. But don't go away, because I'll tell you what we do.
Oh, my absolute cinema, dude! This is the greatest thing ever.
Quickly launched a petition
Accountability.
complaining the migrant squatter had more rights than her, a Spanish citizen. Then the migrant...
This is literally what's happening to your entire country. These people come in and get their de facto squatters' rights, and you can't evict them.
changed the locks. She was forced to leave her house and sleep on her brother's couch.
The migrant changed the locks and locked her out of the house. Oh my God, absolute cinema.
Taunting her further, he even brought in garbage from the street and sent her videos of a trashed apartment. Esther Belize had been politically active for years, helping African migrants in their own countries. Yeah, probably should have left it at that. She also previously posted this on Facebook, defending African migrants for illegally invading Spain, while also legitimizing illegal boat migration on the basis that European countries import minerals and food from Africa. But get this. Even after everything she went through, Esther Belize still refused to divulge the woman taking accountability. Challenge failed once again. Migrants' country of origin to the media because she doesn't want to contribute to existing racism. She's literally letting herself get raped because she doesn't want to sound racist. Awesomely, I have for her just vanished. I mean, pick your
no, not really.
welcome a few years later. You don't feel safe. A campaigner for Podemos, the far left ruling party that just legalized 500,000 illegals. Esther Belize is the living embodiment of that.
What in the hell?
She literally got what she voted for. Yeah. Women setting conditions import millions of third world migrants right after posting about how scary it is to walk alone at night. And this is
Oh, you're goddamn kidding me.
and you're not allowed to acknowledge it. You're not allowed to acknowledge it. That makes you racist. You can never actually acknowledge the issue. We do have a button. And if you just push the fix everything easily button, everything will get fixed easily. But you're not allowed to push that button. They just sit there and refuse to push the button. But reality is changing. It is. It's changing in front of our eyes. We are witnessing the mass wake-ups of the retards in society who are kind of tired of getting raped. And as an anti-rapist myself who stands against the pro-rapists on the left that want to import the rapists to rape, I say, my sisters, I am with you. I will defend you, even when you don't want to be defended. Don't worry, I am noble in that way, and we will do our absolute best to vote out democracy to make sure that you never have power again. Because you're honestly, you can't be trusted to wield it, so we'll do that for you. You're welcome, says me, your benevolent overlord. In the future, it's gonna happen. Ultimately, the only thing that can protect these women are strong men. I know they hate to hear it. They hate to hear it, but that's just where we're at. Sorry, women. We're here for you. Now, my favorite thing about this entire situation, like with J.K. Rowling crashing out on Muslims and shit, is actually very simple. Because J.K. Rowling was a libtard. And she was out there writing her books. The Harry Potter books is, like, she was creating the most libtard fantasy ever. I'm not gonna lie. You know, the ultimate diverse environment, a secret society of magic people who are wholesome chunguses. Voldemort is an evil white supremacist guy who believed in pure blood and fought against the dirty mudbloods. And the good guys had so much toxic empathy that they would stupefy the Death Eaters again and again and again and again. Infinite stupefaction of Death Eaters, but they wouldn't fucking
What the hell?
And you know what? Because they refused to kill the Death Eaters, one of the Death Eaters would be
The hell'd they come from?
over the course of the book, ended up killing Lupin in the last book, whose death could have been avoided if these people had a little less toxic empathy and they would have fucking killed those bastards. But no, they had that empathy for them, so they'd Expelliarmus their way through society, only to let themselves get raped by infinite Death Eaters that they could have dealt with very, very effectively and permanently in the first place. All the issues in the Harry Potter books basically come from retards that refuse to actually solve the problem and will kick the can down the road. That's all the problems in Harry Potter society. So J.K. Rowling, right, libtard, ends up going through society. She completely gets radicalized on the trans shit when she realizes that you got these biological men raping women in women's bathrooms and prisons. Totally radicalizes the shit out of her on trans shit. And here she is in society where she's supposed to be a wholesome chungus and accepting everybody, watching people be like, wait a second, hold on, let me get this straight. You got Muslims doing terror attacks in England, raping people literally everywhere in England all the time, and you're not allowed to call out that it's Islamic terrorism and it's an Islamic problem? We have to sit here and literally try to make believe how every different minority group is equally important and all of them are equal and society is a wholesome chungus universe and there's racism and white guys are the problem when that's not how reality works anymore. No one's falling for the psyop. And the radicalization of J.K. Rowling has been absolute cinema. And you should definitely subscribe to me because I have a lot more satisfaction to bring you.
As many of you already know, we're living in the middle of a gooning epidemic. Unable to contain their own horniness, some gooners have gotten themselves in serious legal trouble, be it for gooning in public, indecent exposure, voyeurism. It's getting crazy out there. And with that stated, today we'll be once again looking at several cases where gooning ruined people's lives. Policemen goons while driving. Gooning on the job is already risky business, but I'd say in the case of certain jobs, it can be absolutely diabolical if you go through with it. Which brings us to the case of the cop who crashed his cruiser while watching porn. On November 6, 2024, in Sorrento, Florida, police deputy Tristan McComber was driving along in his squad car southbound on County Road 435. And this would be no ordinary patrol. On body cam footage, Tristan can be seen briefly checking his phone, and then out of nowhere, crash. Officer McComber, distracted from checking his phone, rear-ended a civilian motorist who was stopped behind a school bus. Uh-oh. But that's not even the worst part. Frame-by-frame body cam footage analysis reveals, well, he was watching porn on the phone, and possibly even gooning to it. Bro was literally browsing the hub while tailgating a soccer mom and a bus full of children.
He says, I can't control my horny level.
Stumbling out of his patrol car, bricked up and torqued, McComber, or McCoomer as I'm calling him from now on, is clearly embarrassed. He calls for backup and goes to check on the woman that he hit.
Yeah, that fucking video sucked.
Yeah, I'm good. Hello, ma'am. Are you okay? I'm so sorry. It's okay.
Thankfully, the woman was unharmed, and she was actually pretty chill about the whole affair. I don't think she'd be as relaxed if she knew what the cop was up to before he blew the back out of her Toyota Corolla. So, backup police would arrive, and of course wanted to know why Officer McCoomer rear-ended this innocent lady. This is an audio recording from that incident of him explaining what he was doing.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit.
The cop actually lied when the colleagues arrived. Officer Coomer told his supervisors that the woman ahead of him abruptly stopped due to the school bus. He said the sudden braking caused his brakes to lock up, and that's why he crashed into her.
I'm so sorry. It's okay.
McCoomer even claimed that his ABS light had been blinking around the time of this occurring. So, he's implying that, oh, my ABS is messed up, and that's why I slammed into the woman.
I'm over here stroking my dick.
So, yeah, it was wet out at the time, and, his story seemed plausible. Nothing would come from this, other than the police officer himself.
I can't control my horny level.
But then, they pulled the body cam footage.
He wasn't texting before slamming his car into a woman's car.
He was looking at porn. West 2's Justin Schecker got a copy of the Internal Affairs report and the body camera video from the crash.
When an official from the sheriff's office reviewed the body cam footage, they quickly realized McCoomer wasn't being honest with them. Wet roads and ABS wasn't the issue here. A quote from the official: I was able to observe in the top right of the screen that McCoomer was holding what appears to be a cell phone in his right hand, unquote. When questioned about the cell phone usage, which clearly led to the crash, McCoomer admitted he was on his phone, but said that he was only checking a group chat that had other officers in it. The problem with that is, in the footage, there's literally porn on the screen. So are you saying that you and your cop bros have a gooning group chat, Mr. McCoomer? Investigators got to take a look at this group chat, and, well, they found no such pornographic imagery within it. So McCoomer was lying again. They pressed him again even harder, and Tristan McCoomer would finally come clean, admitting to not only being on his phone, but also to looking at pornographic material, specifically, quote, like boobs and whatnot. McCoomer would be reprimanded for lying by omission, as investigators confirmed that the main reason for the crash was due to the officer ogling at pornographic images on his phone. The Coomer was also cited for violating other policies, including a general order about using a cell phone on the job, and also not wearing his seatbelt. In January of 2025, Officer McCoomer, now fully exposed as a gooner cop and facing firing, resigned from Lake County, turning his badge in shame. He would join the likes of other gooner police officer extraordinaires, such as the on-duty cop that was in an OnlyFans promotional video. Go watch my other video about gooning if you want to learn about that guy. As for the vehicle that the officer rear-ended, the driver seemed to be uninjured in the body cam footage, so no big deal there, I reckon. I'd imagine she has a potential lawsuit against the county, considering she was hit by a cop watching porn on patrol. Hopefully the Lake County Sheriff's Office did the right thing here and paid for the damage done to her vehicle. Maybe even hopefully gave her a little bit of extra considering how fucking ridiculous all of this was.
The only thing more dangerous than uncontrolled gooning is unprotected internet browsing. And if you're surfing the web raw out there, today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN, can help. Surfshark is a VPN that hides your IP when you're online, making you anonymous when browsing the web. By doing this, you're better protected from hackers, safer when accessing public unsecured Wi-Fi networks, and it makes it harder for stalkers and three-letter agencies in finding out what you do in your spare time. Now, I use Surfshark a lot when I'm traveling because I'm getting online at airports and at restaurants. You want to be strapped up when you're accessing these Wi-Fi networks. It's an essential tool that I use to protect myself and my data. And the value compared to the cost, it's well worth it. I mean, right now, Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can essentially try it out risk-free. If you don't like it after 30 days, you get your money back, but I really do think you'll like Surfshark. With Surfshark, you can change your IP address to appear virtually anywhere on Earth. They have 3,200 servers in over 100 locations. Having a VPN at the ready is always useful for when you need to get across some kind of firewall or region-specific blocked content. Let's say you got a show you want to watch on a streaming app, but it's only available in a certain country. Simply change your location to that country and watch to your heart's content. Guys, I don't just use Surfshark because it has surf in the name and you're watching wavy web surf. It really is a solid VPN. So it's time to secure your privacy with Surfshark. Enter coupon code WavyWebSurf at checkout for 4 additional months of Surfshark when you sign up. Go to surfshark.com/WavyWebSurf and use code WavyWebSurf. Now, let's get back to these gooners. The Starbucks gooning incident.
Our next gooner is an individual who became so reckless with his stroking addiction that he frequently became known to goon for extended sessions in extremely crowded public areas. On March 11th, 2022, around 9:30 a.m., 27-year-old homeless man, self-described male model Blake Rain decided to put on a show at the Miami Beach Starbucks on Collins Avenue and 29th Street. As Blake entered the Starbucks, he didn't approach the barista and order a coffee. Rather, he leisurely walked over to an American flag that was hanging on the store window, produced his cock and balls, and started jerking off publicly. The man looking rather patriotic as he stroked away.
The man in this video was arrested for lewd and lascivious behavior inside a Miami Beach Starbucks. What are you doing? A customer records as employees who may not be aware continue calling for orders.
Get out! It's disgusting!
Apparently stuff like this must happen a lot around there, as the baristas are seemingly just going along with their work as if there isn't a guy shooting ropes in their lobby. You can literally hear them calling out customer names to pick up drinks. Thankfully, Alyssa, the woman who's recording, intervened in all of this madness, chastising the depraved gooner, and did her best to cock-block the guy from his own right hand.
I don't want to ever go back, and it'll always be in the back of my head.
Though I don't know, he might have actually been into being screamed at by her.
It's disgusting!
This sickening public gooning display by our homeless male model here reportedly lasted about 10 minutes. Eventually, Miami Beach officers would arrive, and they scared the guy off in the process. Officers caught up with him shortly after he fled. He was seen walking southbound on Collins Avenue. And once he saw the police were on his trail, he took off running. Officers gave chase and ended up tasing the fleet-footed masturbator, marking the end of his Starbucks stroke session.
Video shows police trying to take 27-year-old Blake Rain into custody. The police report says Rain ran from police. He's combative while police tase him.
Blake was arrested and charged with lewd and lascivious behavior, disorderly conduct in an establishment, and resisting an officer without violence. After being taken to the Mount Sinai Medical Center to tend to injuries from his arrest, Blake Rain was then taken into custody and arraigned in a court for his bond.
Alright, I'm getting tired. I'm gonna log off. I'll see you guys in the morning.
A gag order for his unhinged behavior when he was addressing the bench.
The suspect appeared in bond court. Rain was argumentative with the judge and tells the judge he works